I'm really happy to be here to tell you about You's journey and how we transform our attribution challenges into actionable insights thanks to predictive analytics and media mix modeling and the help of Nexoya. I'm Sonia Milici. I'm the head of marketing and sales at You. I've been with You since the beginning, even before, because I was at the inception of the project. I've been in the marketing and communication sector for more than 2 decades. I work on agency side, I work on the client side in Switzerland and also in English-speaking Africa. Together with me on stage will be Marco, but I think he will introduce himself a bit later. Fantastic. First, for those who don't know us, who is You? We are a neobank, a financial app. That means that you can cater to all your financial needs with the tip of your fingers on a mobile phone, meaning paying, saving, investing, third pillar, trier, you name it. We've been launched in 2021 in May, that means 4 years ago. We've grown a lot since because we are more than 100 employees, almost. We have more than 300,000 users, 330,000 to be exact, which is kind of amazing and make us de facto the #1 neobank in Switzerland, Swiss neobank. We have more than 3 billion assets under custody. It means that people trust us with their money, not just for their holiday, but also with their salaries, we love this trust, because thanks to that, we are the first neobank in Switzerland to be profitable. That's happened last year. And we are the fastest in Europe because we managed to be profitable in under 3 years. In terms of our structure, we belong both to PostFinance and to Swissquote, but we are fiercely independent. I will tell you a bit about the challenges in marketing in general, but in digital marketing in particular. And the first one is really obvious, but it's also the toughest. The competition in the market is really enormous. In the Swiss retail banking, we've seen an impressive digital ad spend increase. It's just growing year after year, while at the same time, the traditional ad spends in marketing are not increasing that much. And we are not just competing with banks, we are competing with the whole fintech sector at You, and we are also competing with international players like Revolut, to not name them, and they give huge means. That means for us, efficiency is not just a nice to have, it's survival. That means that every campaign, every channel, every impression has to really hit the target above its weight. Because the hard truth is we cannot outspend our competitors. We are not playing in the same field. So we need to outsmart them. And that is the mindset that really pushes us to rethink how to spend money, how we want to allocate our money, and what insight we trust to make it happen. A second challenge, the elephant in the room, is this attribution dilemma, the attribution or the illusion of it. As marketers, we rely on deterministic journey. You have an ad, you have a click, you convert, you celebrate. No, that model is gone. Between cookie depreciation, walled garden, app-to-app tracking, that is a nightmare. And I tell you, in the banking sector, it's even worse because of confidentiality. Attribution is not a science anymore, it's guesswork. And guess what? The scary thing is that we take million francs decisions based on this guesswork. We are in a paradox. We have more data than ever, but we have fewer and fewer answers. We see that marketing statistics are replacing user tracking, but what does it mean really? And if things were not messy enough, the channel exploded. We moved from a funnel to jungle, social, search, influencer, audio, display. They are all evolving at different speeds, and as a marketer, you have to stay up to date. There is one interesting change as well that concerns us all right now. Just to add to the channel fragmentation, we are going from search engine to, as we know, it's morphing to something else, to answer engine. So the SEA and SEO sector is going to answer optimization and answer ads. So the paradigm of keyword first will be replaced by the paradigm of question first. It has huge implication on how we plan media, and how we structure our messaging. So as marketers, again, we need to be aware of that. So how to navigate all this? Actually, we realized that we needed an AI copilot. Not the one from Microsoft, but the one that helps us to automate tasks, but not only, something that can provide us strategic foresight, something that helps us to simulate outcomes, challenge assumption, detect market shift, and yes, that help us also to bridge this gap in attribution. Something about augmenting us, giving us the edge to outsmart the competition to perform. And we need something to answer the challenges I've named before. And that's how we entered a collaboration with Nexoya in early 2022. We believe they could be the one to help us to tackle these attribution and efficiency challenges that we were facing. Now, 3 years after that, I know they were the right ones, but it was not. It did not happen overnight. We had to take a step-by-step approach based on the tool and data we had. We started small, we grew slightly, and now we are working on a new marketing operating model with them. And really, we are not reactive anymore, we are proactive thanks to their help. Let me tell you about these 3 steps. First, the first step is better budget allocation. So using Nexoya AI engine, we piloted an automated budget optimization tool. Not on all channels. We started with some channels. We started small, but the results were pretty impressive because on the channels we started to plug in the AI tool, in the Nexoya tool, we had 62% more signups. And something even better than the signups, we got speed, and that's invaluable. We're able to react really quickly to enhance what was working and also to stop wasting money on what was not working. But we did not solve the attribution challenge because we are not able to track all the opening till the opening of the account. We're tracking a bit higher up in the funnel, but still, with the scale that we had at that time, we have to think that we were about 20 employees at you, so we had not a lot of resources, being budget, being persons. It was already a game changer. Second step, enriching our data. Because AI is only as smart as the signals you feed it in. Boldly said, shit in, shit out. That's why we needed to bring really good data in the system, and we brought third-party data from outside, like market trends, seasonality, even some public events. And suddenly, we're not just reacting to performance, but we're anticipating shifts. This really allowed us to run simulation. It allowed us to answer also the what-if question. That means that before spending £1, we could see what will happen afterwards. It was really a really different kind of marketing conversation. It gave us really clarity, a smarter way of spending, more efficient way of spending, but still the attribution gap was not solved. Coming to the third step, the media mix modeling that we entered early this year, you have to think that there are we are chasing individual paths, but we don't do that anymore. We really zoom out. The idea is that we look at patterns over time. And the media mix modeling gives us a statistical understanding of how the channel work together and contribute to growth. So without relying on these cookies and those pixel tracking that are really a nightmare. So we shifted from a mindset of credit to a mindset of contribution. And that is when our strategy really became inside-led, became cross-channeled, and we were able with that to cross this attribution gap because it was not relevant anymore. It's still work in progress. We are still feeding some data in the system. We are still fine-tuning it. As I said, we started earlier this year, but the results are really, really promising. It was a testimonial that I wrote in 2023, I think, for Nexoya, and I can say that we were only on the step 1 of the process. Now we're on the step 3, and I still stand behind it. Thanks to those tools, thanks to AI, we are working now with a new predictive marketing operating model, one that helps us to be more successful, more efficient, really to set aside from the competition. And I have to say that for that, it was the help of the Nexoya engine. But I guess Marco can tell you more about what happens behind the scene.
Thank you very much, Sonia. Obviously, it's very insightful, and obviously, as a co-founder, very heartbreaking to see all these. It always needs to have such a beautiful story. So I'm very happy to have you here, have you on stage from Lausanne, directly here on stage to Winterthur. Very happy to have you here. So yeah, who is Nexoya, right? Who is so crazy and builds a MarTech AdTech startup in Switzerland, right? Who is going so far and is so ignorant to actually do that and not do that in Silicon Valley? Well, hi, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Nexoya. And we started small. We started 2 people 6 years ago. Meanwhile, we have 30 people serving amazing clients like you, but also others in different regions, Berlin, Milan, London. And we were able to capture a couple of awards in this category of budget optimization, right? So what we do is basically optimize the budget, right? To make sure we have the right budget at the right point at the right time in action. And how does it really work? And when we looked at the market 6 years ago, we saw, well, this problem is really big and AI might be a way to solve it, right? AI might be a way how you can really increase your ROI by being proactive across all the channels you serve. An average marketing department has 6 to 9 channels active, deployed in the market and spending money. It's incredibly hard to manage that properly. So what we did is we built a software solution in Switzerland. I want to stress that a couple of times today. And so first we ingest all the data. So we take the data from all the publishers, social, search, display, analytics systems you might have into the system and make them comparable, aggregate them and deploy it. It's a very important point to have all the data in one place, obviously, and then we read it. We don't have a pixel, so we read the data centrally. You can all do that, right? And it's easy to do. You can go to the website, take the data out. Then we ingest additional data from someone like you or from the customer, which gives us infos which are not tracked. Like, for instance, deposit on the account, or account openings, or revenue, which is directly managed or influenced by the paid, but not directly seen by the paid and attributed correctly. So we take this in, and we build a media mix modeling on that one. So there's a little bit difference here between a marketing mix modeling, where we take everything in, TV, radio, and the media mix modeling, where we solely focus on solving the attribution problem in the digital world. Right? It's kind of tactical versus more strategy. Then we take all this data and we run AI prediction engines. So over the past 6 years, we built time series predictions. These are AI models, also in joint collaboration with the University of Zurich, to actually predict the perfect performance or the ideal performance of each campaign and each ad set for the next 1 to 6 weeks. And the performance is actually not relevant if you do that. You search for saturations. So you really want to find out how saturated is which ad, which campaign, which channel. TikTok A versus Google Z campaign. How saturated are they right now? And how saturated are they 6 weeks to come? So we do this. Obviously, this is quite some computing which happens. And then you get optimization proposals. So on a weekly basis, at minimum, or also reactive. So we also check the market every day. And if we see the predicted achieved is not resulting, we automatically give you a proposal. Hey, this is how we suggest to reallocate. So the AI assistant really tells you, hey, across all your 150 campaigns you have, this is how we would shift the budget right now, because the demand is currently flowing from TikTok yellow campaigns into Google red campaigns. And then with click of a button, you can actually adjust all the budgets. So over 40 systems are connected where we directly adjust budgets, bidding strategies, and things like that. Yeah, that's basically what we do in a nutshell, and obviously what we also help you to put into action. I think that's all. You then get a beautiful UI. This is actually, so look, the data is all fake, the numbers are all fake, but it looks exactly like that, even with the U logo. So that's actually how it looks. And thanks to that we actually do media mix modeling, we have not just the accounts opened by the pixel of Google and Meta, which you should never compare, but actually we have a calibrated attribution value. Right? So we have the measurement data from the portfolios, from the platforms, and then we have the attributed calibrated data from the media mix model. You actually see that like in a funnel step, which allows you to obviously see it and second align also teams. Right? Many agencies you work with are split. You have social, maybe search, maybe display. If you have different agencies, it's even more complex. If you have one agency which has different teams, it's also complex, and you know it. Right? They don't like to move money between the teams because it's a pretty complex process. right? If you go in and say, here's another 50K, move it in the right channel. It is like 30 meetings probably, maybe 40, until they decide. And we always do that all automatic. And we also saw a significantly less effort of doing it because you click a button. Yeah, and we did that for many cases. We started in insurance and financial services field in Switzerland. You was one of the first early adopters and kept pushing us to the limit. Also, hey, we need this, we need this, we need this, right? And then we moved also in the telco field with Vodafone, and as well as then more into the e-commerce field with Flush and Post, Buy Components, and many more, Calcedonia Group, and so forth. So yes, we could show that by doing that every week, you really have a benefit and you really can push the borders here. And I mean, that's exactly the point where we are right now. And Sonia mentioned that. Right now we look at, okay, what happens in the future and what are the options you can do, right? So we can already now simulate and tell you, well, if you add 20% of budget, this is what's happening. Or if you remove 20% of budget, this is what would happen. The next thing is obviously, and that's obvious for all of you who are being in this MarTech Summit because you're the marketing expert, the question is, what options do I have? So for us, it's clear, as the AI assistant in marketing performs, right now it tells us, hey, I can do ABC. What happens? The next step will be, what options do I have? And tell me how can I do it and do it for me. So for us, this is kind of the critical step we are right now, going from AI assistant, which tells you these are the options, to, hey, these are the opportunities. And with that, shortly summing up all the lessons learned, obviously also with together. Sure, you're doing Q&A.
Yeah, aid is really a long-term commitment. You can just, we decided to work with Nexoya. I said, we need this help, we need this AI to make it happen, but it's not just plug and play. You need to change the way you work, you need to change the structure. It's really a commitment from the whole company. And it's linked to the second point, human transformation is essential. If your team is resisting the change, if they don't want to embrace new way of working, new way of collaborating, it won't happen. So there is a lot of change management that is needed by embracing these new tools that are amazing to improve the efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, I could just add that obviously if you're running on your ads every day, right? If you change them every day and suddenly you don't do it anymore because suddenly there's a tool doing it actually significantly better, and we even create a study around this topic, it's really frightening, right? And it's not just frightening for the operator if you have it internal, it's even more frightening if you have an agency doing it for you on an hourly basis, right? Because it really displays you that hourly time is kind of, it's a difficult way to measure value in the future. And so transformation is essential for not just the party who's involved, for everybody doing that, right? Yes.
Yeah. And the third point, I said it not really elegantly before, but the quality of data is really key. You get out what you put in. You put in, you just compute it, make it better, and enhance it. I don't know how to say that in technical words, but that's the idea. But if you don't put the right numbers, you don't put the right data from the onsets, you cannot get good predictions. It's really basic, but some people forget it, I guess. So it's good to remember that. And we saw it, we experienced it the hard way at the beginning. We didn't input the right data to start off with, and we had to adjust a bit.
Yes. Yes, so nothing to add on that one. So thank you very much for having us.